afternoon, everyone. Our speaker today is Raylene with Pure Romance. For those not familiar with Pure Romance, it is the nation's leading in-home direct sale company for women only that seeks to entertain, educate, and empower other women regarding sexual health and intimacy. So in her first year, Raylene achieved director status with Pure Romance. By her second year, she was awarded a position in the Elite President's Club. In the following year, this lady with the pink hair has achieved both a position as a senior director and was a member of the 2009-2010 Board of Directors. These accolades came with some baggage, but good baggage, literally. Raylene and her husband have packed their bags for a 7-day cruise to Alaska, a 5-day excursion in Hawaii, and even a week in Italy, as well as many engaging Board of Director trips without husbands and kids to Naples, Florida. Boy, it sounds like it might be a nice job for some of us. Today, Raylene speaks to us regarding Pure Romance's Sexuality, Sensuality, and Survivor program, with this being Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Pure Romance's SSS program has helped thousands of women who have undergone cancer diagnosis and treatment understand and overcome the effects that cancer has on their sexuality. So let's all welcome Raylene and look forward to her presentation.
And you thought it was all fun and games, you know, it's trips. Go everywhere. I want to start by introducing one of my favorite people, the only one I know that will work for food. That's my dad, who is going to be videotaping today. I am going to, let me tell you what's on the table first. We have some mild catalogs, so you can all feel free to look through them. There shouldn't be anything that should be untoward or, you know, unwelcome for lunch. Carl, I'm watching you. So, well, I saw him when they said for women only. He went, wait, what? There's also packets of take-homes for you. You don't need to use those here. And then there are... That's not what I meant, but it's okay. I appreciate the enthusiasm. And then there are 2 little packets that look like equal packets. Don't put those in your coffee. Those we will be using. All right, and so everybody keep your napkins handy. Don't give them to the servers as they come by later. There's also pieces of paper and pens. So if you would be so kind as to grab a small piece of paper and a pen, we're going to play a little relaxation game, more for my sake than yours. All right, on your little teeny tiny piece of paper, or whatever paper happens to be near to you, I would like to write down what is your least favorite household chore. Least favorite household chore. Everybody has a least favorite chore. Least favorite. If you don't have a least favorite chore, I live about 40 minutes from here and I will trade a clean house for some products. All right, everybody write down your least favorite chore. Don't think about it too hard. Just write down bathroom. Come on. Underneath that, I want you to write, or actually on the flip side. On the flip side, write down why you hate that chore, but think it like this. I hate this chore because, write everything that comes after the word because. But don't just write it sucks or it stinks. We know it sucks and stinks. It's a chore. Okay? No 2-word answers. Nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to read it. Except the servers after we leave. And then you can just do this at your table. Nobody needs to get up and tell me what they said. But who gets to be the table leader? Everybody pick one table leader and that person's going to go first. Whoever is the least afraid of me gets to be the table leader. All right? And you're going to pick up your card and you're going to say, hi, my name is, introduce yourself to your table. And then you're going to follow that with, and I hate sex because, and then read your answer. The more wrong you think it is, the funnier it's going to sound when you say it out loud. You have a good one? makes me feel much better. It sounds like they've got good ones over there.
Oh, that's funny.
Thank you for playing along. I appreciate that. I want to start by saying that I am really, really honored that you guys have let me come up and do this presentation for you. I was really terrified to join a couple of years ago because you find that when you talk about sex, people, there's an automatic wall that comes up, and people, they'll say, yeah, we do that, but we don't talk about that. This is a business meeting. You know? Well, hopefully we will see how everything ties in as we're going along. And I'll just tell you really quickly, before I started selling Pure Romance 4 years ago, I didn't own anything that we sell. Nothing. Nothing that's in that catalog other than maybe some lip gloss, and even that, not so much. All right? I'm really kind of I don't like to wear makeup if I don't have to. It's an extra step. All right? But I didn't own any of it. And I had a very strong opinion on people who did because I was raised with, well, we'll just call her a wicked prude because it's true, and a minister. So just in case you don't know this about my dad, he's a minister, all right? Not behind a pulpit so much, but he does weddings, he does funerals, he's the chaplain at our church, and he does a Christian TV show. If you ever saw God's Masterpiece, which ran for a long time, that is actually my dad over there. So I was raised born-again Christian, so we didn't talk about sex. You had sex when you got married and there. That's our conversation. Work with it. So at the age of, let's say 38, when I went to a party, it was not a Pure Romance party, it was another party, and I went, and I wasn't, well, the first time I was 25, it was a horrible, horrible experience. It was the naughty, dirty, vulgar party that you see on TV and that everybody thinks that I do. That's not what I do. And so when I had gone to another party when I was 38, and I was tricked into it, was pride with alcohol, just so you know. I could be, you can get me to come to any of your events for alcohol, food, or t-shirts, so. That's why my dad's here, he got the food. All right, and so I went and I had a really good time. I learned something. That's really what I wanted, was to learn. And what I learned is that there's a lot about my body that I didn't know. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm kind of an outgoing sort of person. I'll talk about just about anything, anytime, anywhere, especially if I think it'll make you giggle. Right? So everybody thought that I was one of those girls, but I wasn't. So I went to this party, I had a really, really good time, and I came home and I said to my husband, wouldn't it be awesome if there was a way that women could talk about sex in an open environment, learn about their bodies, how they work, why they work that way, not have it feel uncomfortable and vulgar. And he said, go find a company that does that. Or make your own. Well, I did. I found a company that did it, and what I found was most important was this program right here. Because when I realized that any company that would spend the kind of money and the kind of resources to put together a program like this that will not have a huge monetary value to them, but will have a huge value to the people that it's presented to. This is a company that I can represent, and I feel it represents me. So when I hear Pure Romance in the news, or I hear Pure Romance online, I usually can be fairly certain that what is being said is going to be something that I'm proud of. And that's the core of why I chose Pure Romance. So I'm going to pass this around, and you do not have to put your name on it if you don't want to. I understand people don't want to get emails. I have a link in there. You just put whether or not you want your be on my email list. If you do, put your email address. If you would like a full catalog, because these are not the full catalogs. If you would like a full catalog mailed to your house, let me know. I will send a catalog to your house, and then you can look it over in the privacy of your own home with your partner. So I will be passing this around. All right, and then we are going to begin. Stacy, will you be my clicker? Because I have no clicker. Yes, I brought notes. All right, food for thought. First click. What's your favorite ice cream? Now, next one. Did you say black raspberry, white chocolate chip ice cream? No. Okay. It does, doesn't it? All right, see, now that's exactly why I do what I do, because she never thought of raspberry chocolate chip ice cream, but now she's thinking about it. Everybody likes something different. If we all don't like the same ice cream, we sure as heck are not going to like the same things in the bedroom. I mean, let's just be clear about this. What's normal for one person is extremely abnormal for another one. So we're going to want to try to keep that in mind as we're going through. I try not to go too crazy, but, you know, I get exuberant. All right. So this is the mission of the SSS program. It's to help women recapture their sexual and sensual selves through education, empowerment, and safe product offerings designed specifically for women following cancer diagnosis and treatment. All right, our pledge, we're going to offer safe products to enhance women's sexual experiences, raise public awareness on intimacy and sexuality changes, provide ongoing support through specially trained pure romance consultants, which I am one, a network for women and their partners, and develop and maintain programs that educate and support women living with cancer. All right. In conjunction with that, we're talking about the Patty Brisben Foundation. This is our 501c3 that reaches out to all women's sexual health issues. Did you know that something like 40% of women face some sort of female sexual health dysfunction? Right? Do we ever hear about that on the news? Do we hear about men's sexual health dysfunction on the news? They go hand in hand, right? I don't think any woman out there who's suffering from female sexual health dysfunction wants her husband coming home with that little blue pill. Damn, thought we were done. All right, it's a separate entity, but it does work hand in hand with both Pure Romance and the SSS to give us the best that we can. We develop collaborative partnerships with appropriate public and private organizations, and some of those are the Kinsley Institute at the University, Indiana University, Center for Reproductive Health at the University of Cincinnati, the National Vulvodynia Association, and the North American Menopause Society. So we're not out there on our own just beating our own drum. We actually have our own parade. It works really well. All right, women, and the Patty Brisben stands up for the rest of the women. Women with cancer are not the only people who struggle to cope with intimacy-related issues as they pertain to health problems. Right? Makes sense, right? And I'll cover them too. We focus, oh, this is my favorite slide. Let's see if I can get my, oh, I lost my notes on that one. Okay. We work on research and expanding women's health, including issues such as vaginismus. Vaginismus is any pain upon penetration, tampons, doctor's visits, anything that has to do with pain in the vagina. This is what we're talking about. Vaginal atrophy, which happens when we have our periods of low estrogen. This can happen when you're going into menopause. It can happen after childbirth. It can happen for just any reason when your estrogen levels start to drop. You get a thinning of the vaginal walls. It can cause pain and discomfort and obviously lack of moisture. And then also vulvodynia, which is any sort of pain in the vulvar area. Dr. Oz actually last year did a huge special on vulvodynia because for so many years it was just referred to as, well, honey, it's just in your head. We can't find anything wrong with you. Well, there is something wrong. It's called vulvodynia, and it's just unexplained pain in the vulvar area with no reason for it. Okay, but it's not in our head. It also helps fund research into vulvovaginal pain, menopause, cancer, breast health, vaginal health, female sexual dysfunction, intimacy after childbirth, libido, hysterectomies, etc. And then outreach programs for relationship issues, emotional issues, physical side effects, cancer, menopause, childbirth, stress, hysterectomy. And at that point, I should have covered pretty much everybody in the room, right? Right. I think just starting with stress and working down the list, at some point, we're all going to have an issue. Maybe not. Maybe you've been lucky. All right, so our overview, we're going to talk about the effects on sensuality, the available solutions, the importance of communication, understanding your resources, and then steps to finding the right solutions that's going to be right for you. Cancer diagnosis and treatment will affect you emotionally, physically, and socially, but can you do anything about it? Now, I do know some people who have gone through cancer treatment, and on the other side of it, things are fine. Some on the other side of it find things are not fine. Some find that after a while things are fine. But if they don't have that opportunity to talk about it and know that that's normal, that there is another side of it, that you will get through it, it can be very alienating. You can feel left out. This is the big question. Can you reach orgasm after cancer treatment? All right, I think, now just being in my line of work, chances are that would be my first question. If anything happened, I'd be like, whoa. Am I still going to be able to enjoy my partner when I'm done? This question actually works for women who have gone through hysterectomies as well. A lot of people are very concerned after a hysterectomy, which is removal of some important bits of your body, will you still be able to have an orgasm? And the answer is, is most of the time, yes. If you could do it before, you should be able to do it after. It reminds me of that joke, doctor, will I be able to play piano after this surgery? He's like, sure. He's like, good, because I couldn't before. That'd be awesome. All right, but we're going to have to reevaluate what is normal, increase foreplay and level of arousal, and these are things we're just going to be talking about. I don't need to list them all there. I've just become guilty of reading the PowerPoint slides. All right, I actually debated whether or not I was going to put this slide in, and then I was thinking about it. It's really hard for me to explain to you how things get short-circuited if I don't explain the circuit to you. This is actually the sexual response cycle. Desire. This is an interest in sex. This is where a lot of people don't even get to. All right, you find that I just don't even have any interest in sex. Now you can overcome that, but that's really where a lot of it starts. The next one, excitement, feeling of arousal. Maybe you want to have sex, but your body's not responding the way you want it to. Plateau, that's when you're consistently staying aroused. This is when your lubrication starts to happen. Orgasm, well, I don't need to explain that one. And resolution is your return to an unexcited state. This cycle can be stopped at any phase, all right? And this cycle can be started and stopped and then restarted, you know, as the case may be. You know, if you go out to dinner with your husband and you start to feel aroused, you're not going to stop everything, finish the job, and then go back to dinner, right? At least it's never happened to me. If it's happening to you, let me know where you're eating, because I want to know where that's appropriate. All right? And when we are getting aroused, all 5 of our senses are being used. Sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. They're all being used. All right? If you think about the good touches, those are obvious, and then you don't even think about a bad touch. Somebody's got a hangnail, that's going to slow your arousal down. All of a sudden you're like, what? You're moving all over the place trying to get away from it, and they think you're having a wonderful, wonderful time, and really that hurts. Stop touching me. Hard conversation to have. All right, and the same thing with sight, sounds, tastes, and smells. Anything that some things can be arousing, and some can turn that right off. So just be aware of that. Don't let the cat in the bedroom. Right? If you know that's a problem, just be aware of it. Now, what you have to address when you are developing these changes or noticing these changes is what is normal, what was normal, and what's going to be normal now, okay? Normal is whatever gives you pleasure, whatever gives you and your partner pleasure together, all right? And it's really, because people have such a wide, varied attitude on sex and their attitudes on sex and their practices, it's really hard to find a normal. Because I bet if you were to go around one table, you would find that what you all like is very different, again, like ice cream. So when you're finding something that's normal, it's got to be normal for you. So let's just say that you've had breasts removed, or your breasts, a lumpectomy or something, and your breast feels different than it used to. All right, so you've got your desire, and you start to reach for your partner, and then because your breasts are part of your foreplay, now all of a sudden one of them is not there, or it feels different. This is going to put a damper on your foreplay. This is going to slow you down. You're both going to stop and go, whoa, cancer. Okay? There's nothing sexy about cancer. Although that movie was pretty funny. Did you see that one? What was it, 50-50? It was a pretty funny movie. All right, not even dealing with cancer, let's think of other things. Gaining weight. Have you ever gained weight that your partner reaches for you and you're like, don't touch the belly. Don't touch the belly roll. Stay away. All right, those are body image issues. Those are also going to slow you down. So you have maybe your desire, and then you start to get into your arousal process, and something will short circuit. He's touching my belly. Right? You've got to find a way to move around that, and this is where your foreplay is going to come in. Maybe you used to always be ready, willing, and able. Maybe your body was always properly lubricated when it needed to be. And now after childbirth, or after aging, or after stress, or better yet, #1 over-the-counter medicine that affects vaginal lubrication, antihistamines. Every 5 seconds on TV, you got a Zyrtec commercial, a Claritin commercial, or whatever commercial, and anything that is drying up this mucus passage is drying up this mucus passage. So you're popping your Claritin because you've got a cold and you don't want to be sneezing and running nose and runny eyes, because that's not sexy. Right? Plus I'm old, and whenever I sneeze I pee, and that's definitely not sexy. So, all of these... You almost choked back there, didn't you, Kip? All right, so when we're talking about things, you know, now things are different. You're going to have to find a way to approach the subject, because otherwise your partner's either going to start before you, finish before you, which is usually, all right, and then so you're going to have to find a way to make sure this works for you, because what will happen is eventually you're going to stop wanting to have sex. Eventually, if it's not pleasurable for you, if it hurts and you don't reach the resolution phase or the orgasm phase, you're going to be like, well, what's in it for me? And you're going to start avoiding reasons to become intimate with your partner. And we don't really want that. All right, so that's what's normal. The importance of foreplay. No matter what kind of cancer treatment you have, the ability to feel pleasure from touching always remains, but the location may have changed. All right? Anything you like to do with your partner is technically foreplay. If you are enjoying each other's time, then you're creating that intimate moments. If you are dancing, you are hiking, you're watching a movie, you're walking in the park, if it feels intimate, it is intimate. And those are moments that people will shy away from when they start to have pain during sex, because they don't want to lead to a time where they might have to tell their partner no, so they just create barriers. Okay? So this is the importance of foreplay. Number one question I get from women, and I tell you it happens all the time, I get this question, how do I slow him down and speed me up? Anybody in here identify with that? I get it one time, twice in one day on Facebook. Twice in one day. 2 different people, 2 different ages, 2 different states Facebooked me and said, how do I slow him down and speed me up? Okay? This is your answer. It's foreplay. Right? That's the people don't want the easy answer. They want a magic button. I want a magic button too, but it's not going to happen. We've got to have our foreplay. The importance of foreplay is when we communicate with our partner. This is when we increase our intimacy levels. Okay? If you want it to be the good kind of sex, the kind where when you're done you feel amazing and in love and holding each other and loving each other. If you just want a physical release, do it yourself. Alright? I'm just saying. Then you don't have to talk to anybody. Do you know how long it takes the average man to orgasm? 2.8 minutes. This is true. I didn't make this up, not to be funny. Seriously, you know how long it takes the average woman to orgasm? It depends on whether or not he's in the room. If she's alone, 2.8 minutes. But really, it's 14.8 minutes is how long it takes the average woman. And that's the facts. That's why we need foreplay. Men are like microwaves. Women are like crock pots. We need time. We need time to warm up. We need time. We can't go. I don't know how they do it, but he sees you bend over to pick a pizza out of the oven, and he's like, hey. And you're like, well, should I put the pizza down, or? Right, so this is the importance of foreplay. He can start with, hey, at pizza time, but he's going to give you, I need to give you a little bit more than that. All right? I hope. All right, and you're going to find new pleasurable areas on your body. Do you ever have somebody nibble on your ear and all of a sudden like, oh, I didn't know that felt good? Or something else. They could be nibbling on anything or touching, and you just all of a sudden randomly find a new spot. Try to find a new spot. Try to find new things, and this is going to help, especially if you have issues, body image issues, or if you have issues with body parts that are in pain. Find new spots. This is where your foreplay is. All right? Let me just check, make sure I said everything. Oh yeah, I did. I said all that. All right. You do know this is totally different than a pure romance party, so I have to follow along my notes, so otherwise I'll just get too exuberant. Another one, importance of foreplay, fantasy role-playing books or games. Now I put this website in the middle because a lot of people are uncomfortable with fantasy role-playing books or games, and they're uncomfortable with a lot of things. The Marriage Bed is a Christian website for Christian couples with scriptural background to sanctify the things that we want to do in the bedroom. Okay? Is anything that you have told your partner, or I mean, a lot of people are comfortable talking to their ministers, which is fantastic. A lot of them are. Sex is a non-subject. We don't talk about it. We just do it. Lights out. We're just going to do it, and not enjoy it so much. So themarriagebed.com is really, really good, and it will provide scriptural backup for all of the things that people tend to do if they find that they're uncomfortable making a decision on their own. I mean, I'm just saying. All right, then, some of the games. Date night game. We have that. You throw the dice, you do what it says. Kind of like, does anybody watch, what's that show with the little nerds? I love that show. The Big Bang Theory, and last week Sheldon had his dice and he wouldn't do anything unless the dice told him to. Get some bedroom dice. One of our dice says, you know, one of them will say a body part, one of them will say what to do to that body part, and then one of them will say where to do it, you know, like bedroom or car or bathroom or kitchen. One of them just says your choice, and I was like, how about Paris? But it says you're no fun. All right, and then we also have our date night game. One of my favorite games that I've ever seen that has to do with intimacy, because it's not all about how crazy can we get? All right, and a lot of the games like 52 Weeks of Naughty Nights, that's about being crazy. The date night game is more about having a conversation with your partner. What do you think about that? How do you feel about this? And then there are action cards. And I think probably to me the worst one in there is the one that says make love in front of a mirror for a minute. All right, I don't want to see this like that. In my brain, I am younger and thinner. So if I see my husband having sex with a fat old lady in the mirror, I'm going to be mad. This is not going to be arousing to me at all. So that card got tore up right away. I'm like, no, that's not for me. But that's the fun thing. You can go through them with your partner and decide what's right for you and what's not right for you. But it's going to be whatever is within your comfort level. But fantasy, role play, books, or games, some people just love and some people don't. But it does open up. You know what? If nothing else, even if you just wind up doing nothing but laughing your butt off at the end of the night, you've still created a moment of intimacy with your partner. You know, if you opened up a game and you laughed at the ridiculous things in there, you've opened up some intimacy with each other. And that's really what it's all about. Now, we are going to talk about the magic bullet. Not technically the bullet. I know everybody's like, you said there wasn't going to be toys. I'm talking about the importance. We're still talking foreplay, but now we're talking about something that we can apply that is going to make a difference in our arousal. Part of the problem we said in the beginning is desire. If you don't desire to have sex, then you're not going to be aroused. The important thing to know about women, let me just check and make sure I'm not supposed to talk about this on the next page. Okay, no. All right. To reach arousal for women, we need to use our brain. All right. I don't know how it works for men. Every time I turn around, they've got something popped up, and I'm like, where did that even come from? Right? But for us, if our brain does not get involved in what's going on, we will not orgasm. We won't get aroused. We won't lubricate. We won't do anything. So if you're sitting there laying in bed and your partner's doing his best to, or her best, I don't know how everybody rolls in here, but when your partner is trying to draw your attention and you're thinking about bills you need to pay tomorrow, or speeches that you're going to do, or presentations you're going to give, or books you're going to write, I mean, if you're out here thinking of all of this other stuff, you're not going to get aroused. Your brain must be involved, because our brain is what sends the signal down to the clitoris that says, rock on. All right, when we get aroused, the blood flow goes down, the clitoris gets larger, about 2/3 larger, gets more sensitive. Your vulva swells up, gets more sensitive. Your labia swells up and gets more sensitive. Your bottom vaginal muscle tightens up. That's to hold the penis in place. Your upper two vaginal muscles will lengthen and tilt to create a pathway for wherever it's supposed to happen. Okay, just saying. All right, and all of this, and then your natural lubrication kicks in. Again, this can be short-circuited at any point during in your arousal process. So this is going to help draw your brain to where it needs to be. It's going to draw your brain away from paying your bills. Okay? Little devil do you. You have a sample in your packet. Take it home. Right? All right, this is called your ecstasy. All right, it is flavored, if you would like to be flavored. It is recommended for first-time users. I actually had it, well, I don't think it's any surprise that I'm medicated, but I was on ADD meds. It's okay, you can laugh, it's true. All right, but you know, I was in talking to my doctor who gives me my ADD meds, and she said, did you know that antidepressants cause sexual side effects? And I went, yes. You know what I do for a living. Of course I know that. But yes, I mean, these are things, so this will help draw a little bit. So you put it on, it's air activated. All you need is a ceiling fan, you got yourself a Friday night date. This is going to help draw your arousal for you. Take it home, share it with your partner. This will not work on your partner, just so you know, because it's just too light of a mixture. You have a stronger one that will work with your partner, but this is the ecstasy that's in there. The next one we're going to talk about is lubrication. Now, I always talk about lubrication after I talk about arousal, even though in the catalog it's the opposite. Because I feel like we have no business talking about lubrication until we talk about arousal. Because if we're not aroused and we're just slapping on a lube, we're basically just laying there and letting him do his business. I would like to participate if I'm going to be there. I got to clean up the mess. I want to make sure it was good for me too. All right, so why are there so many different kinds of lube? Have you ever gone to Walmart and looked at the lube aisle? I mean, not on purpose. We walk by it and look through the side of our eyes because that kind of stuff isn't for us. Right, but you ever notice there are so many? That's the same reason as the ice cream. Okay, different ice cream, different lube. Everybody in here use the exact same hair conditioner? Whatever's on sale, okay, with the coupon. All right, that's why you've got different lubricants. We like different stuff for our hair. We're gonna like different stuff down there. All right, you're gonna find, we'll just go to the next page. There's nothing super. Oh, 72%, this is true, 72% said that adding a water-based lubricant to her own natural lubrication will increase her pleasure. It does increase her pleasure because it helps balance out everything. Remember, we're going through our arousal and we've got things that are short-circuiting our arousal, and as we're going along, we might be a little bit more aroused at one moment and a little bit less aroused at another moment, and this will just kind of balance everything so you're not just drying out and then being like, this isn't fun anymore. All right? And, oh, let's see. Here we go. Now we're going to have fun. Water-based lubricants. Everybody, there, find your table captain. Everybody got your table captain. Now we're going to get out that little piece, the little packet that says "Just Like Me." There's 2 little packets that say "Just Like Me" on each table. There's one right there. There should be 2. Did somebody already pocket it? Okay. All right. I want everybody, whoever your table captain is, go ahead and open that packet up, and everybody gets a little drop on their fingertip. Okay, if they want to. Nobody is being forced to do anything, but take a little drop and put it on your fingertip. This lubricant is called "Just Like Me" because it is supposed to be just like you. Rub it around in your fingers. For those of you so inclined, rub it around in your fingers. This has no colors, no flavors, no scent, no taste, and it's pH balanced to work with our body. This is safe to use with latex and all other methods of birth control. It rarely causes irritation, because you can never say never. It will absorb naturally into the body, and it's water soluble. So did you guys rub it around in your fingertips? All right, you'll notice as you rub it around, it just soaks in. All right, it doesn't get gummy, doesn't get sticky, doesn't turn into nasty little pill balls. It just dissipates. That's what you want your lube to do when you're done. Can I get a holler from all of the women who have ever gone to the OBGYN, and when they're done, you take that big wad of paper, does that work? You get in the car 5 minutes later, and then you're like, oh, what? Now I have to go change. Okay, this lubricant's gonna, when you're done with it, it's gonna go away. Now, at this point, I'm sure that it's all gone. If it's not, you can wipe it on your chair or your neighbor or your couch or whatever. Because it has no colors, no flavors, no scent, no taste, and it's pH balanced. Take your fingertip that you dipped it in and get it wet. You can use spit, you can use your water glass, you can use condensation. Just rub your fingertips around it. Tell me what happens. Anybody? I heard a couple people. It re-wets. Okay, this is what you want a lube to do for you. You want a lube that's going to work with you, not against you. Worst thing ever, whatever that lube is that they use at the OBGYN office never goes away. The one that you use in the bedroom goes away too soon, right? This one is going to last as long as you need it to last, and then it's going to go away. It will work with you. So as long as you have a little bit of your own vaginal moisture, this will stay wet. This becomes important because I don't know whether I was supposed to mention this earlier or whether I'm mentioning it later, but if you've gone through chemotherapy, it can affect your body's natural ability to lubricate for up to 10 years after. That's a long time, Al. That's a long time. Are you done yet? All right, you want to actually have something that's going to work with you, and this is called Just Like Me. Over here, you'll see I have a number of Just Like Me bottles. If you are so inclined, and you are brave enough to let everybody know that you're buying a lube in front of a lot of people, they are $16 in the catalog. I have them. I'm going to sell them for $15. $5 of it will go to our whatever donation our event will make at our women's center if you want to put it towards a scholarship. And then $5 will go to the Patty Brisben Foundation so she can keep these fantastic programs running. And then $5 is going to go to cover my my expenses to get them here, so the tax and the shipping and whatnot. So $15. I want to tell you a couple stories about this. A couple of months ago, I was actually considering leaving Pure Romance. Don't ask me why, I was just in a mood. And I got a phone call from a lady who had been at one of my parties only about 2 months earlier, and she called me up. She said, hey, my name is, and I met you at so-and-so's party, and I just want to thank you. And I'm like, awesome, what for? She said, you saved my marriage. And I'm like, that's an awful lot of power in those words, what did I do? And she said, I had been avoiding my husband because sex hurt. She's after menopause, I would just do nothing that would lead to an intimate moment because I didn't want to have an intimate moment because it hurt and I didn't want to deal with the pain. So the less time we spent together, the more distance was getting between us, and we were pretty much heading towards a divorce. And I'm like, that's amazing. She says, so you talked to me in the ordering room, you told me about the Just Like Me, I took it home, I used it, and now I need to buy 2 more bottles, one for my mom and one for my sister. So amen, Ray Ray still has a job, because God likes to do that to me every now and then. He's like, oh yeah, remember why you do this? The other one is I was at a training, and I had a new lady, and she was a little bit older, and she had just become a pure romance consultant. She was having difficulties explaining to people what she did without herself making it sound kind of creepy. Because when you first start doing this, you're like, I do romance products, right? And I said, well, you need to think of a story that really made a difference to you so that you can tell people, so you can use that power to go around and use that. Because it's not, what we do isn't dirty, but you're telling people it's dirty by the way you're acting. And so she said, okay. And she sat down, and a couple minutes later she comes over and she goes, oh, I have this great story. She says, I have a friend, and she will not talk to me about these products at all. I asked her to have a party, she said no. I gave her a catalog, she said no. Well, then she had a birthday coming up, and I gave her some stuff. Yeah. And I figured she probably wouldn't use it. But then a couple of weeks later, we were out to dinner. It was me and her husband and my husband, and we were together. And she pulled me aside, and she goes, I love that Just Like Me. My husband calls it the garage door opener. So those are my 2 favorite stories about our Just Like Me, and about how having these products can make a difference. My time. I forgot to set my timer. I brought it up here, but I never turned it on. Welcome to ADD. All right. Then we also. Oh, is it? Okay, well then we're going to call this wrapped up. I'm sorry I only got to the, well, at least I got through the foreplay. That's the part I usually skip. All right, so, and the rest of it, I just tell you what else is in your packets. You've got your Just Like Me sample is in there. You have a whipped sample, which is an edible massage lubricant that you can use to, well, massage, and for rubbing, it's very soft. It's a nice creamy lubricant. There's a Sensations, which when you rub it on, it gets warm when you breathe on it with your hot bedroom breath, not like you're blowing out a candle, not, right, but this, right? It's gonna heat up a little bit, it's gonna add a little extra sensation. All right, and then if you would just go to the last slide for me. We've got our Intimacy After Cancer resource list, and you can see they come from some pretty interesting and high-level names here. All right, this is where we get all our information. Also on your table, the one other thing you'll see, there's 2 packets that have, she's got this one right here. Can you just hold that up? The smaller one. No, the paper. There we go. That. Everybody has those. This is where most of my information came from today. It has a lot more researches in it, so if you know someone who's suffering from cancer or after cancer or just got a cancer diagnosis, then go ahead and grab those and bring them home and share them with them. And I am open to answer questions anytime, and if you want more and the rest, just call me, we'll have a party, it'll be awesome.